Today I want to show you a fun way of sketching design ideas using AI. You can create cool images, cool concepts in real time by combining your prompt with your real-time sketching. And it's easy. I mean, really easy. I recorded a quick tutorial I gave to my brother, who's a very creative person, but has no experience with AI imagery. Normally I use Midjourney to create most of my images, but I'm tempted now to use the platform I show in this video to create most of my images. So let's dive in. All right, Eris, you design a lot of things. You're someone who's not really used AI imagery. You just love sketching on paper and designing things on the go. I thought I'd show you this cool AI tool called Krea.ai. I'll just briefly go through the interface of it. We'll show you the cool thing that I think you'll like most of all about this platform. Krea gives you the ability to create images. So simple, you prompt and get your image. You've got video generation. So it's working with other AI models to create these functions or features that they're offering. There's a real-time AI generation, and that's the one I'm going to show you. You can enhance an image, so it means you can upscale the resolution of it. And then they've actually given us the ability to train. So you can now upload, let's say, 10 images of yourself and train the AI and how you look so that you can tag yourself to that training model and start creating images of yourself. It could be also training a style. If you have a certain style that you want to create images of, you can give it multiple images of that style, tag that style and call it, let's say when you're generating an image, you can call that style in. You've got your gallery of, as you can see, someone's created this video of an elephant.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, this trade, but you've got a lot of different styles. As you can see, some really high quality photographic images. You can get inspiration from them. They're showing you the prompts they're using. There goes your dogs. So you've got the gallery of people, other people, what they're doing with it. You've got your own assets window. You can store, all your history, all the images you've created in the past. It's all my characters I recently just played with. It's a free tool, but you get very limited credits. I'm paying for the low-level subscription now, and that's enough for someone like you, even for me. Okay, let's go to the cool stuff. Let's go to real-time image generation. What you've got here is a canvas. On the left is where you can draw. I'm using the XP pen. It's a web-based platform, so you can basically just sketch with your mouse. And on the right, it gives you the result. You've got your prompt section. You've got on the left the tools that they give. Very basic for now, but I'm pretty sure we're going towards a situation it'll be Photoshop-like. You've got your paintbrush, eraser. You can delete objects, choose your canvas color. So if I change it now to a green, it'll change quickly on the right, and move objects and do all sorts.
Where did the tank come from?
Yeah, I don't know why that's the default. For some reason, the default is a tank, it seems. So there's a scroll bar here called AI strength, and it's how much the AI is influencing. And I'll show you what I mean by that soon. So you have a house in East Africa overlooking the Rift Valley that you rent for Airbnb.
Yeah.
You designed them. You came up with the idea based on the land contours. So let's say I key in a prompt, a modern house overlooking the Rift Valley, acacia tree, pool, bright day, soft light, photographic. Mm-hmm. So with the prompt alone, as you can see, I already have a house kind of in that environment. Let's say that now I want to kind of a dark brown. I can choose my brush size, and we want to start giving it a bit of a composition. You want maybe a profile of the house, right? So I'll start drawing in just the shape. I'm being very basic. Both of us are quite good artists. The more AI strength you give it, the more it actually starts becoming realistic. If I go to 0 strength, it'll just give me the image as I've drawn it, right? So no influence. You've got your prompt that's affecting the image and the image itself. So in this case, for example, it's really working with shapes of color. So if I boost this brush, let's make it big, and I want it to understand that this is hopefully
the land.
Yeah, give in some sky. It'll be somewhere Oops.
Where are you prompting for sky?
I'm not. You can if you want, but it's there's no point because it'll understand that it
The
kind
blue.
of it got I mean it just kind of understands. Yeah, AI works through statistical analysis of patterns, right? See how by adding that sky suddenly understood, oh, I've got a mountain or ridge, and now I've got a house that's on that ridge. Now, because I've written in acacia tree, there's an acacia tree there.
And if I want to zoom out from the house to see the overall picture, what would I do?
So let's see. The beauty is I can literally do this. And
How did you drag it? How did you copy?
okay, so let me do that again. I basically grabbed the image on the right and drag it to the canvas. But I can also upload. Here, there's on the left, there's an upload image, right?
Can I upload a starting point from Pinterest, for instance?
Yeah, so for example, I've got an image like this. Let's say you found this image on Pinterest. Yeah, you saved it to your hard disk. And then I can enlarge it. However, I would also, I think, it'd be wise to probably delete all your elements. So these are all objects, what we drew. Okay? They're all kind of objects that you can move around. You can layer them accordingly. Now you see it's not exactly the same, but if I reduce the strength maybe.
It's approaching.
Yeah, it's approaching. The question is now if I say I want a tree at the bottom here.
Could you draw in it?
Let's say I want a tree there. Well, it's already added trees that don't belong in that environment, but okay. Let's reduce the brush size. See, this is what I don't like about the interface is that, and another thing I don't like is that you don't have like a color capture tool, pipette type, like in Photoshop. But let's give it, a bit of it's added trees in there. It's also capturing these trees here, right? So I could probably maybe erase part of it and start adding to it. Maybe I want more sky. Let's see if that works. And so if I want more sky here. Yep, there's less clouds, right? But every time I change something, the whole image is changing. And the reason that that's happening is that it literally has to recalculate the whole image. They don't have masking capability yet. I'm sure that'll come.
And what if I was to prompt more in a modern house overlooking the Rift Valley, and I gave it more of a descriptive whatever? Would it be a lot more accurate?
Yes. So that's another thing that I recommend. Obviously, a prompt, the language they use is very important. What I've written is a modern house. You can change the adjective. So let's say you wanted a modern red house, a round house, small house, big, large house, yeah? The thing is, you've got to understand that in a situation like this, the camera is here, the horizon's there, the house is here. For me to say, okay, I want a drone shot of this house, it's not going to go and take that drone shot of this house. It can't, right? Unless I give it total AI strength, and then everything essentially changes, yeah? So it might be taking the feel, the lighting, the style of the image, and now the prompt is more important because that's what's influencing the shot. See, so I said drone shot, a modern house. So that's how you control it. Yeah. If you want to be more true to the image that you're drawing, that you're sketching out, or you want the more power to the prompt, you're trying to balance these two things. This tool for me is about sketching ideas, coming up like if you're very visual, so you're able to imagine in your head and say, okay, I'm going to build a house like this. However, you could take photos from different perspectives of the land and start just kind of sketching and seeing what kind of shapes you get on this.
Can I take a photo of me sitting on a chair, upload it, and I want to modify based on my seating position? And using that one, I want to drag it and say, I want to make that sofa a modern, wooden, whatever. Is that possible?
Yeah, it is possible.
I'm looking from prototyping, getting a sort of concept in order to describe a visual concept of a product or whatever. I mean, how does this help me when I can only get a two-dimensional image?
It's the initial ideation. It's the initial kind of conceptualizing of shape. But I was playing around with it earlier. But you see, I came up with an interesting shape for a house.
Yeah.
It'd be expensive for you to build, but it's still an interesting shape and it would look cool in that environment, right? As we know. But it could be that you look even at this wall and you say, I like that. I can use the local stone to create that in that area of the house. You know, what I think this tool's good for is to kind of just generate ideas and say, oh, I like this little corner and I'm going to utilize that. I mean, even for me, when I'm coming up with characters, I'm prompting it, but now I can start sketching it and say, I want the shape to push into a shape that I want. Are we going for a more bungalow kind of look of triangular shapes? This chimney might be a cool thing that you say, oh, I like that.
Now, going back to what I asked before, I'm sitting in the pram or sitting on the chair, and I still leave myself looking like I'm sitting on a chair that now I can design around it, and I'm still in the picture physically.
What I can do is erase everything right now with the erase button. Choose the size, and I can start erasing around. I can change the background color. Remember, I can make it white.
Sure.
I'm going to erase his background.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I have a nice pen, then I can do it quickly, and you on the mouse would be a pain in the ass, but what to do? Obviously now I can prompt it. So a man sitting
a bench.
We'll have to play with the...
But don't you draw it first?
Yeah, I want to see what the AI strength will do. Let's move this somewhere else. Right? In this case, of course, I would draw the bench here. Let's see what it comes up with. And let's say you want a curved legs. Already it's done something in terms of design there that you might say, okay, I could do something with that potentially, right? The fact that it's shaped that wooden bench in that kind of, with that recess.
Will it give me, now if I want to see more alternatives?
If you like that, you can save it. At the bottom here, you've got save button.
Mm-hmm.
So save it and then click this again, this variation button here on the right.
Let's click on the variation.
And you can keep clicking in it until you run out of credits or, yeah. So here's very simple. Let's say you want to add an element, draw it in. Yeah. So when you are designing your bicycles, because you build bicycles sometimes and bikes,
Yep.
You built an electric motorbike for yourself. So you can play with shapes there. You can say, okay, I want.
So I could
you can also play with
the motorbike that I built.
Yeah, or start from scratch. But for example,
so it's just a fun, easy way to get creating.
Yeah, very fast, very. You will have ideas. Remember, we gave Mom a birthday present, and we created an image. So I just did it through prompting. But maybe now I want this shape. We could have been a bit more specific. Like for example, this image of these cool, cute robots.
Yeah,
they've gone in and said. And through a long prompt, I can see a sense of, they've said whimsy and humor. So there is whimsiness and humor there. Some weird stuff going on in the hands here. It's a nice image. I like it. But what if the AI had given you variations where you want this composition? You can literally draw in that composition. Yeah. And get it to give you two characters and profile looking at each other. So it's the same thing here. You want a bike front view, right in front view of motorbike and this, and draw out the front view. You want it in side view.
Got it.
Say side view of a motorbike, and give it some details and descriptions, and then work with a sketch to be able to try to get to a certain kind of final image or design ideas. That's how I would use this tool in terms of the real time. In terms of just prompting, creating images like this, you can, if you're in marketing, you can easily create images that are good enough here.
Got it. Cool. I look forward to playing around with it.
Yeah, and it's for you free. So every time you want to sketch and play with it, just spend half an hour,
Okay.
just until you use up your credit for the day. And then if you find that you're actually finding useful for it, it's only $10 a month. I mean, it's not that much. So that was a taste of Krea. I think that this platform is worth checking out. I do think that the real-time tool interface needs improvement. For example, a pause button for image generation, because often I'm making small adjustments and I don't want to use up my credit. Or a better placed prompt window, because it keeps getting in the way. But to be honest, most AI image generation tools today need improvement on their interfaces. But I like Krea, and I'm definitely tempted to use it as much as I use Midjourney, and to combine the two when I need to. I'm thinking of doing a more detailed tutorial on Krea. Let me know in the comments section if that's something you'd like. I'll be making a similar video on Midjourney and another platform I like to use called Recraft. So if you like the video, hit the like button and do subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow, and I'll keep making videos like this to help people use AI tools and give them tips and tricks. So thanks for listening in, and see you next time.